Colorado's new fentanyl law is causing some confusion over what it means for Colorado's Good Samaritan law. That's the law that protects anyone who calls 911 during a drug overdose. People on the front lines fighting addiction in our state worry that they could get in legal trouble just for trying to help a friend or family member. Here's Anusha Roy.
The confusion started months ago.
What do they expect us to do? How are we supposed to call 911? And I was like, I know, right? Don't worry, we'll talk to them. Well, I'll make sure that they know.
Lisa Ravel with Harm Reduction says more barriers to calling 911 during an overdose will be deadly. Now, less than a month after the fentanyl legislation became law,
we believe that folks are not going to call 911 because they are going to be afraid that they are going to get a felony possession.
The law in part is stiffening penalties for possessing more than 1 gram. It's why Ravel has been asking about the Good Samaritan law.
There's Good Samaritan immunity for any individual who's possessing or using a controlled substance. If they remain on scene of an overdose, call 911 and cooperate with law enforcement. And that still remains in effect.
Boulder's district attorney, Michael Doherty, said with the new law, it extends immunity from being prosecuted in someone's death when there's a max of 4 grams. But there's a caveat.
They're not immune from being prosecuted for distribution, which is a drug felony 3.
That could be 2 to 4 years versus 8 to 32 years if prosecuted for someone's death.
You have fentanyl and your friend has fentanyl. Your friend overdoses. You call 911, you remain on scene, and you cooperate with law enforcement. You and your friend are both going to be immune from prosecution for possession or use of fentanyl.
But if a friend goes out and buys pills and then gives it to another person,
that's distribution. Your friend takes the pill, you take a pill, and your friend, unfortunately, tragically passes away. You call 911, you remain on scene, you cooperate with law enforcement. You would not be prosecuted for the distribution resulting in death. You could be prosecuted for the distribution of handing it over to your friend.
But for Doherty, individual people are not his focus. It's finding people further up the drug dealing chain and letting people know there's protection to encourage people to do the right thing. But Ravel said the law and the confusion is doing the opposite.
In a time when we should be increasing access to calling 911, we're actually decreasing access, which we believe will increase overdose deaths.
We asked our legal expert who said that legal definition of distribution that's been around for decades in Colorado. The Good Samaritan law is specifically mentioning immunity in the right circumstances. That is for controlled substances, which includes fentanyl. That is whether a person knows or did not know that they were using it. But Ravel, she still doesn't feel really great about this. She was hoping that there would be more specific language specifically around fentanyl for more protection, which is not what she's saying.
I mean, eventually there's going to be a test case that kind of goes to the courts and lets people know how it's going to work, but nobody wants to be the test case in case it doesn't go their way.
Right, and there is actually a case out of Boulder right now that kind of speaks to those situations, right? A boyfriend had gone, bought what he thought was Xanax, came home, shared with a girlfriend. His girlfriend never woke up. What they bought was fentanyl, but he called 911, he cooperated, and so the DA in Boulder said they actually found the dealer, charged the dealer with manslaughter. The question was, what about the boyfriend? And they felt like it wasn't the right call. He's not going to be charged, right? But I think it's really important, though, to point out that it's up to DA discretion for these decisions, which means you're going to see varying decisions and opinions DA to DA.
District by district. All right, Anusha, thank you.